Hello and welcome back to First Prospect Plays Destiny 2, The Road to Forsaken. We are off to go take care of the very last two campaign missions in Destiny 2, particularly in the Warmind DLC. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get this started. It's basically just the two strikes, but we get them on easy mode.
I've been running some scans. There's a cavern that intersects with one of Zol's tunnels.
Zavala, listen to me. I studied the logs. Rasputin was barely able to stop Zol the first time.
Guardians, I'm getting some kind of interference. I can't make sense of it.
I hear it too. Give me a minute to analyze the signal. Maybe I can figure out what it is.
You know, I honestly didn't hear anything about that. I don't know what they were talking about. I was... The reason why I wasn't talking was because I was listening real close to hear if I could see anything, because I remember every time they say that, I'm like, what did they hear? And I don't hear anything. There might be like a little high-pitched whine. It sounds like you got a little bit of tinnitus, but honestly, I'm surprised that that's even something that they pick up.
The interference is getting worse, but I'm starting to pick up a pattern. Do you hear it, Anna?
I'll need more data to be sure.
Is it like the hive growling in the background? Because that doesn't seem very... I don't know. It doesn't seem very noteworthy to me. Whatever.
Those crystals are surging with energy. They must be using them to gather power to feed Zol.
So I gotta say, this strike, especially when Blackout is active in the Heroic Strikes playlist, wow. Blackout or Glass, they're even... So Blackout and Glass got modified so they're not quite as brutal, but man, it's still... It can still be really tough.
Try throwing it at the crystal.
I already threw it,
Looks
Ghost.
like the hive have been busy down
Come on.
According to scans, there's a large chamber where all the tunnels
I feel like we had some good talks last episode. Last episode was only like 30 minutes long, and we got 3 missions done across 2 different destinations. Episode before that was only 18 minutes because we got kicked out of the servers because Blizzard was doing some maintenance. I like this little ice effect. It's not super high res or anything. It's kind of low resolution, but it's just at the corners of your screen. You're not usually looking at the corners of your screen for the details. But I think they did a really good job making that, you know, not good job, like, hey, they made this as detailed as possible. No, it's just a cool little effect, you know, like how your screen can be messed with if you're affected by the, by being put into the other dimension in Destiny 1, as the runner during the King's Fall raid. What? Did it seem like there was like extra bullet damage, like ghost bullets between my bullets? That was weird. I missed that punch. It's still weird seeing a fist while playing a hunter. Like, that is not something I'm used to. Okay.
They were chanting in an arcade fort about a priest.
We're pretty much done with this. We've just got a hive ogre. No, we got this little room, then the hive ogre. This room's easy. This knight's a yellow bar in the strike. He's actually kind of tough. Because then there's also another friend comes and joins him. So, for those of you who watched last episode, you know I was talking a little bit about my family, and my baby girl, she loves songs, and I listen to heavy metal. So it's been weird because when we drive around, I try to play things that, you know, aren't super harsh. You know, I don't want to scare my child. You know, it's not like, you know, she's heard me listen to heavy metal in the car. You know, like, oh, if I say bands, people are gonna judge my taste, but whatever. You know, I listen to a lot of Between the Buried and Me, Arion, Symphony X, stuff like that. You know, and I try and play the more melodic things for her. Especially things like, The Sword are pretty good with that. But we stuck the Frozen soundtrack in the car. Stuck it on my iPod and hooked it up to the sync function in the car. And she has not seen the movie Frozen yet. But it's been really funny because she looks at us like, you know, well, my wife will look back at her and I'll look back at the stoplights. Not actually while I'm driving, you know, actively. I mean, being at a stoplight is still actively driving. Don't have me convince you otherwise through a poorly constructed sentence. But the point I'm getting at is that she oh these Hyvergate. No, I live. Dude, hunters are too small. Their hitboxes are just too small. Can't die if your hitbox can't be marked. Anyway, she looks at us all confused because she's like, this music is different than what we're used to. This music is, you know, and she'll listen to music on the radio and stuff like that too, and you know, she'll wiggle in her car seat. You know, if we went to Chili's last night to celebrate something personal in my life, and you know, she was dancing to some song on the radio. And it, you know, she's cute. She likes music, which I'm totally happy about. I can't wait to support her when her hands are big enough for piano lessons or guitar lessons, whatever she wants to learn, you know? Are you serious? He's juking me. Alright. But she started, it seems like she has started to finally appreciate the Frozen soundtrack, and I've been thinking about showing her Frozen. Which is, you know, she's a little 14-month-old. She's not, like, she wouldn't really get it. It'd just be pretty colors and stuff for her. You know, she'd recognize that there are people, probably. I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot. I've been thinking about, you know, familiarity to music, familiarity to just the things, you know, that you're used to, and things that eventually bring about nostalgia in your life, you know? And I wonder if my baby girl's gonna have nostalgia for, like, Let It Go and For the First Time in Forever, or, you know, if she's gonna have nostalgia for Between the Buried and Me, you know, Millions, because that's, you know, what she heard as a small child. Oh, he spawns over there? Okay. I mean, like, how many parts of your life are influenced from things that happened to you when you were a little kid? I mean, it's crazy, and I can't even begin to imagine, because the other day I picked my baby girl up from her daycare, or no, not. Oh, I don't remember. I think I picked her up from daycare while I was working, and or after I was done working. And what happened was I brought her inside, and she was kind of whining. She was, you know, was probably hungry, wanted a bottle, and so I put her down to get her bottle out of the diaper bag, because our diaper bag has a nice little spot to hold her bottles. And what happened was she walks towards me, and the poor baby girl, she falls flat on her face, and this is the first time she'd ever been, like, seriously hurt. Like, she was bleeding from her upper lip. It looked like, you know, she got in a fist fight. She's a little 14-month-old, and, you know, being a first-time daddy, I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? Like, I was trying to stay calm, but I was definitely freaking out a little. Okay, I got nobody to impress here. I was freaking out a lot, because, you know, my baby girl's mouth is busted up, and it's hard to see through all the blood, and oh my goodness. A poor thing. You know, she was just trying to walk towards me, and she tripped over her own feet, and she was still tired. You know, because she'd been half asleep in the car. But, I put a paper towel on it. I tried giving her some ice. She wouldn't take the ice, but, kept an eye on it, and, you know, a week later, it was completely healed. Like, I was like, how? Like, if I had busted my lip that bad, and, like, I was terrified, like, a part of her tooth had chipped off and maybe gotten in her lip, because the cut wasn't that deep, because she bit herself on, when her face hit the floor, and, I thought she was really hurt, but she was okay. She was okay. She's got a big boo-boo. And I took care of it, and, you know, like I said, I've been talking about my family and empathy and caring for them. And it's just, I love sharing my baby girl. It doesn't matter who to. I'm so proud of her. She was walking at, you know, 9 months and 3 weeks. She can say ball, go, door, milk, mom. She actually understands mom. She's still kind of getting dad. She calls all animals Bo, because we call our cat Bowie, and she knows what Bo is. You know, she'll say more if she wants more of something. She's an incredibly smart baby. I'm so proud of her, and I love her so much. You know, she already understands, like, we use crayons on paper. You know, she's 14 months old. She's about to be 15 months old, actually. But I cannot contain just how much I care for that baby girl. I can't contain how much I love her, and just how far she's come, and all the cool little quirks. I just felt like sharing.
My reservations about the war mind aren't as important as defeating Zol.
See, Zaval, you can get over it. But, I keep saying butter, sketty and butter. Anybody remember that? I don't even remember what that show was called. That was, oh my goodness. It was some, like it was a show about this white trash girl who was way too spoiled. My goodness. Oh, I can't remember. She was everything that I would never want my child to be. Oh my goodness. And her favorite meal was spaghetti and butter. Alright. We're gonna go get rid of... what's his face? Zol. Will of the Thousands. And then we will be all done with this campaign. If there is continued interest, please let me know. I will be happy to document the exploits of Solstice of Heroes campaign missions. Probably... I don't know where I'm going. Probably not all the grindy bits. Because the grindy bits, like, get 30 super kills, get 250 elemental orbs, get 100 solar grenade kills, get 100 arc melee kills. I think it's something... was it like 150 or 200 arc super kills? Something crazy like that. Like, that grind was real. I mean, it's... give me 2 seconds to check the clock. So it isn't even Thursday reset yet. So we Well, it's 12 minutes away from Thursday reset. So we've had the Solstice of Heroes event for 48 hours, and I mean, luckily I had these couple days off work, which is why I'm getting like all these episodes done on August 2nd. Like 3 episodes ago, it was still August 2nd. Episodes 13 through, it looks like it's going to be 16, were all recorded on August 2nd. All in the same time frame. Got myself a little bit of lunch in between some of the episodes. Made myself a grilled cheese. Easy, simple meal, but you know what? A good grilled cheese is a classic staple. If you can't make a grilled cheese sandwich, you don't know how to cook. It's just like, if you can't make spaghetti, you don't know how to cook. These are like basic things. Now, rice, it depends on the kind of rice you're using. Some rices are easier than others to do correctly. For a long time, I struggled with long grain white rice, and it would always end up like soggy on the outside and crunchy on the inside. And I had to change the water and temperatures, the water to rice ratio, and I had to make sure that I left it on high heat after putting the rice in instead of immediately taking it down to low. It was a fun couple sessions of making rice to figure out how to make white rice correctly on my stovetop. But you know, and this week I'm gonna try jasmine rice. It cooks a little differently, but a friend recommended, hey, I have, you know, they said, like, from their perspective, I have an easier time with jasmine rice. So I said, you know, I'm gonna try making some jasmine rice then. You know. Ooh, oh, I knew he was gonna put his shield down. I was hoping I could get him before that, though. Anyways. No, I absolutely love to cook. It's a pleasure of mine. Like, it is a privilege to cook for my family. It is something I find incredibly relaxing, incredibly enjoyable. It's a process of creation. It may, by definition, qualify as alchemy because you're taking... It probably doesn't, because you're not taking one substance and turning it completely into another, but you're certainly, you know, doing chemical experiments with the food by changing its temperature, so... And you can come up with so many cool combinations and so many innovative dishes if you're just willing to experiment. You know, people don't see like, hey, I made a homemade soup as like a big skill, but I made potato leek soup from, like, I got all the ingredients from scratch from my local market, and wow, like, there's a lot of work that goes into making something simple like potato leek soup. Like, you gotta make sure your potatoes and leeks are clean. You gotta chop them up the right way. You gotta make sure you have the right amount of I can't remember what it's called. It's not sour cream. It's a thick cream. You gotta have chicken broth for it too. It's crazy. If you don't spice it right, like, it ends up tasting really weird. I say spice it right, but I mean there's a little bit of variation you can have, but there's, you know, like, a lot of people say, oh yeah, put bay leaves in it, and they don't actually mean put bay leaves in it. What they mean is stick a bay leaf, like, on top of it and just let it sit there for a little bit so that the aroma ends up infused in the, you know, whatever. Like, I'm not cooking show material, but, you know, I know what I'm doing in the kitchen. I know what things taste good together. I make a mean lemon garlic chicken. I also make really good steaks and burgers. I'm great at barbecuing. But I mean, let's be honest, barbecuing is not extremely difficult. You need to know how to turn a knob and not burn yourself. It's not complex to a degree that, you know, I find making soups is. You know, honestly, I think the cleanup is harder. I really do. I think making a good burger is easier than cleaning up after making a good burger. You know? Got him. Ooh, I didn't expect that one to fire. Alright. But man, just taking care of your family with cooking is... There is nothing more satisfying. And if you are afraid to cook, if you don't like cooking, I highly suggest that you try it. Because being able to prepare your own food, being able to, you know, take care of yourself in that way instead of having to rely on, like, Chinese takeout every night if you're, like, a college student or something, you know, you know, in the case that you don't have a dining plan, but most of them have dining plan. Most colleges, like, require you, especially in your first 2 years, to have a dining plan. Like, I remember where I went to college, like, you had to have the dining plan if you lived on campus, and you were required, with, like, 2 exceptions, one of which was, like, a religious, and the other, I think, was, like, a mandatory health. And, like, it had to be approved by a doctor, you know? So health and religion were the only 2 reasons that you could try to get an excuse to live off of campus. You didn't actually have to live on campus. They really just wanted your money. Let's, you know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Stabilized. Kind of. But the Valkyrie is ready. Alright. I need you to throw the Valkyrie into the core and force a full meltdown.
It impacted on the surface. There we go.
Complete core meltdown.
It didn't go in.
If you can hear this message, you are
But yeah, you don't have to rely on stuff like that, because when I went to college, like, I had the meal plan, you know, and it was a buffet style, all you can eat, you know, you get to enter the dining hall 14 times a week, I think I had. Was it? No, I had there was a 14, so twice a day, and then there was a 19, which is 3 times a day on the weekdays and twice on the weekends, basically. And, you know, that just meant that on the weekends you were doing brunch instead of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I developed some seriously unhealthy eating habits because, you know, I didn't know what was in my food. I just kind of ate whatever looked and tasted good. I wasn't paying attention to how much I ate. I gained, like, they're not kidding about the freshman 15, but it's because of these crazy dining hall practices to squeeze a little bit more money out of you, you know? There's also the fact that I didn't do home cooking in high school, which, you know, thinking about it was a really big mistake. I really should have. I didn't know how much I would enjoy cooking. That was... That was a surprise. Sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate on getting these crit shots. Man, Whisper of the Worm does a much better job at this. I guess it also doesn't have the ammo constraints. Well, we got him to slightly less than half. I don't even know if I was going anywhere or like trying to make a point. I feel like I made like 3 different points in this video alone. He's coming in for a charge. It's nice that they kind of color-coded this whole boss sequence so that you kind of know what to expect based on the color your screen turns, you know? Instead of, oh, he's gearing up to attack, which one is it? I don't know. If the javelin could come online, that'd be great. That's the extra damage I need.
Auxiliary power has been activated. Get to a node and power up the javelin.
Right as I ask for it, it happens. What, man? This is some crazy miracle fantasy universe I'm living in. Excuse me, that's mine. I need to get out of this. Can we please, like, hit a crit on you? We're getting so close! My goodness. Alright, make me some heavy. Oh, it's, I think it's only one ogre here. It's 2 ogres in the regular version of the strike. Oh, that critted him. Why didn't it stun him? There we go. Alright, we're done. There we go. That's it. Those are all of the campaign missions for Destiny 2 leading up to Warmind. That's it, boys and girls. We have done it. I guess we got some cutscenes to watch, but you know. Nothing too bad. There goes the whisper.
The Bray family shaped me to be an all-seeing savior, while your vanguard sought to wield me as a primitive weapon. But today, that ends, and I define the reality of my own existence. My sight will stretch to the edge of this system and beyond. Never again will a threat go unseen. From this day forward, I will defend humanity on my own terms. I am Rasputin, guardian of all I survey. I have no equal.
What have we done?
Indeed.
Don't worry. We've got this.
We've got this, she says, staring into the eye of a machine that is declaring its independence from us. But he does say he's a guardian of humanity, so hopefully that'll turn out a-okay. Well, once again, thank you, all of you, so much for carrying on with me through this series. This series, I may take a look at, I'll record some of the not Forsaken stuff. I'll record some of the Solstice of Pure stuff. But I will go ahead and make sure that we resume this series, if not sooner than by the time Forsaken comes out. That'll probably be the first time I live stream anything. I'll do some test streams beforehand, but that'll be the first big live stream I do. So once again, thank you all of you so much for watching this video series. It has been a pleasure going through the Destiny 2 story. I know there's been a couple of hiccups here and there with audio quality, video quality, but I finally understood what I was doing in OBS. I finally understood what I was doing with the videos here. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I can't wait to see you guys again. This has been First Prospect. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have something to say, put a comment in the comments below. And finally, if you'd like to see more in the future, hit subscribe. Wherever you are, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. This is First Prospect signing off.